4 days. That is all that remains between right now and the lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28th. And in those 4 days there is one thing, one specific pattern, that is going to stop more people from receiving what this eclipse is offering than any other obstacle. It is not fear. It is not resistance. It is not even doubt. It is the evidence. Your current reality. The circumstances you can see right now with your eyes open. The relationship that still looks the same way it looked before August 12th. The career situation that has not visibly shifted yet. The version of yourself that, when you look in the mirror, still appears to be the same person you were before the solar eclipse. Your mind is using that evidence, your current visible reality, as proof that what the eclipse showed you cannot be true. That the clarity you felt was wishful thinking. That the shift you sensed was imaginary. That the door you thought opened is actually still closed. And I am begging you to stop letting it do that. Because here is what the eclipse corridor actually is. Here is what nobody explains clearly enough. The eclipse does not change your external circumstances on the day it peaks. It changes the direction of what is moving beneath the surface of those circumstances. And the gap between when the direction changes and when the circumstances catch up is exactly the window you are standing in right now. Your reality is not lying to you because it is wrong. It is lying to you because it is describing where you were, not where you are going. 4 days. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Something quick before we continue. Every time someone shares or likes a video on this channel, it reaches someone who is sitting with exactly what you are sitting with right now and has no language for it yet. If this video is already landing, leave a like before you keep watching. And if the lunar eclipse video on August 28th is not already on your notification list, subscribe now. That one goes live on the night of the eclipse itself. Now, the 4 blocks your current reality is building in the next 4 days, and how to stop letting them work. What your mind is doing right now and why. Before the 4 blocks, let me explain the mechanism. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Your mind is a pattern recognition machine. Its primary job is not to help you grow. Its primary job is to keep you safe by confirming that what is currently true will continue to be true. It does this by collecting evidence from your existing circumstances and using that evidence to project the future, which works brilliantly in ordinary time. But we are not in ordinary time right now. We are inside an eclipse corridor, the specific window between 2 eclipses when the direction of what is moving in your life shifts at a level beneath what is visible. The solar eclipse on August 12th changed the direction of something. The lunar eclipse on August 28th will make that change undeniable. And the space between them right now, today, is the gap where the direction has already changed, but the circumstances have not yet caught up. Your mind looks at the circumstances. It does not have access to the direction. So it collects the evidence it can see, which is still the old reality, and it tells you that is all there is. This is not your mind failing you. This is your mind doing exactly what it was built to do. But in an eclipse corridor, the mind's evidence-based assessment of reality is fundamentally incomplete. It is reading the map of where you were. The eclipse has already changed where you are going. The 4 blocks I am about to describe are the 4 most common ways the mind uses current reality to argue against what the eclipse has already initiated. Each one feels completely reasonable. Each one is using real evidence. And each one is wrong about what that evidence means. Block 1. The evidence of where you currently are. This is the most common one. Your current circumstances, the relationship that has not visibly changed, the financial situation that looks the same, the work that has not yet shifted, are being interpreted by your mind as proof that the eclipse did not actually open anything. You felt the shift on August 12th. You noticed the clarity arriving in the days after. And then you looked at your life and it appeared to look the same as it did before. And your mind said, see? Nothing actually changed. You were imagining it. Here is what your mind got wrong. The eclipse changes direction, not destination. It does not rearrange your circumstances in a single day. It changes the invisible trajectory that your circumstances are moving along. And the evidence of a changed trajectory is not visible in the current position. It is visible in the direction of movement. Think of it this way. If a ship changes course by 5 degrees, in the first hour after the course correction the ship looks identical to before. It is still on the ocean. It is still at the same point. The only thing that has changed is invisible, the angle of the rudder. But over the following days, the ship ends up in a completely different place than it would have without the correction. The eclipse changed your rudder on August 12th. You are still on the ocean. You are in the same position. And your mind is looking at the ocean and saying, nothing happened. The ship has not moved. But the direction has already changed. And August 28th is when the new position becomes undeniable. Do not let your current position convince you that the correction did not happen. Block 2. The evidence of your history. This one is subtler and more persistent. Your history, the patterns that have repeated in your relationships, your finances, your sense of what is possible for you specifically, is being used as evidence that the eclipse's clarity is wishful thinking. You have felt this shift before. You have had moments of clarity before. And then the pattern reasserted itself. And your mind has cataloged every one of those moments and is now presenting them as evidence. You always feel this way at significant moments, and it never actually changes anything. This is just another version of that. This argument is the most difficult to counter because it is using the most real evidence. Your history is real. The patterns did repeat. And the mind is not wrong that they happened. What the mind is wrong about is this. The Pisces lunar eclipse on August 28th is specifically designed to complete patterns, not to repeat them. The eclipse series that has been running along the Virgo-Pisces axis since September 2024 has been doing one thing in your life, building toward the completion of a specific pattern that has been repeating for far longer than this eclipse season. August 28th is not another moment in the pattern. It is the eclipse completing the pattern itself. Your history is evidence of how long this pattern has been present. It is not evidence of how permanent it is. The most persistent patterns are precisely the ones that require eclipse-level energy to complete. The fact that this one has been repeating so long is not proof that it cannot end. It is proof that it needed something as significant as this eclipse series to finally close it. Block 3. The evidence of other people's perception. This block arrives through the people around you. The ones who, when you share what the eclipse showed you, respond with practical concern. Who point to the same current circumstances your mind is using as evidence. Who, with genuine care, reflect back to you the visible reality that does not yet show the change. They are not wrong about what they see. They're seeing exactly what your mind is seeing, the current circumstances, the existing patterns, the evidence that is visible right now. And, because they love you, they are protecting you from what looks like wishful thinking. But the eclipse does not distribute collective vision. It distributes individual chart activations. What was shown to you through your personal eclipse activation was shown to you because it is specific to your chart, your natal placements, your soul's particular direction in this cycle. The people around you were not shown the same thing because they are not standing in the same place in their chart that you are in yours. When the people who love you reflect back the current reality and say, I do not see it yet, that is not evidence that it is not real. It is evidence that they are not inside your chart. They are inside their own. Your job in these 4 days is not to convince anyone else that the eclipse is real. Your job is to stay connected to what was shown to you even when the evidence around you, the circumstances, the history, the well-meaning concern of people who love you, is arguing against it. What was shown to you is shown to you. It does not require external validation to be true. Block 4. The evidence of timing. This is the final block and in some ways the most insidious. Your mind looks at what the eclipse showed you and says, yes, that is probably real. But not yet. It is not the right moment. I need more preparation, more certainty, more evidence that the timing is actually right. And because this argument agrees with the eclipse's direction while disagreeing only with the timing, it feels like wisdom rather than avoidance. But here is what your mind is not telling you. The lunar eclipse closes in 4 days. The eclipse corridor, the specific window when the energy between the two eclipses is amplifying and accelerating everything that is in motion, is not open indefinitely. What is initiated before August 28th enters the lunar eclipse's completion energy and gets sealed into the new direction with the full force of the eclipse behind it. What is not initiated before August 28th has to wait for the next eclipse in this series, which arrives in February 2027. There is no version of this where waiting for a better moment is the wisdom move. The better moment is right now. Not because everything is perfectly ready. Because the eclipse corridor is open, and it will not be open at this level of intensity again until 2027. The timing is not something your mind gets to assess rationally. The timing is being dictated by the sky. And the sky is saying, for days, act now. Not when the fear is gone. Now. What to do instead? The practice for the next 4 days. Here is the specific practice for the next 4 days that works with the eclipse energy rather than against it. Every time your current reality presents evidence against what the eclipse showed you, every time the mind says, look at your circumstances, look at your history, look at what other people see, look at the timing. Do one thing before you accept that evidence as the final word. Ask a different question. Not, is this evidence real? It is real. Not, is my mind wrong about what it sees? It is seeing accurately. The question is, what is this evidence describing, where I was or where I am going? Because the mind is right about where you currently are. It is wrong about what your current position means for where you are heading. And the eclipse corridor is the specific window where those two things are most different, where the current position is furthest from the new direction. The practice is holding both simultaneously. The current reality is real. And it is not the destination. The eclipse showed you the destination. And the lunar eclipse on August 28th is going to deliver the first undeniable evidence that the direction has changed. For more days, let the evidence be what it is. And let the eclipse be what it is. They are not in contradiction. One describes where you are. The other describes where you are going. Everything the mind uses as evidence against the eclipse, the current circumstances, the history, the collective perception, the timing, all of it is landing in a specific house of your personal chart. The block that is most active for you right now is not random. It is the block that is most concentrated in the area of your life where the eclipse is working most directly. For the person whose eclipse is landing in the 7th house, the block showing up as relationship evidence. For the person whose eclipse is landing in the 10th house, the block showing up as career and public role evidence. For the person whose eclipse is in the 2nd, the block showing up as financial and worthiness evidence. You cannot fully see which block is most active without knowing which house the eclipse is activating in your chart. This is exactly what your free moon reading gives you. Not a general description of Pisces energy. Not a broad forecast for your sun sign. A reading built around your exact birth date that shows you precisely where 4 degrees Pisces falls in your chart, and therefore which of the 4 blocks is the one your mind is using most aggressively right now to argue against what the eclipse has already initiated. Thousands of people have used this reading through the eclipse season. What they describe most often is not just that it was accurate. It is that it showed them which specific area of their life the evidence was stacking up against, and that seeing it clearly was what allowed them to stop being convinced by it. That is what the next 4 days need from you. Not more evidence collection. Clarity about which evidence to stop listening to. The link is in the description. First one. Free. 2 minutes. Before August 28th arrives and the corridor closes. For blocks. For ways your current reality is being used against what the eclipse already initiated. The evidence of where you currently are real and not your destination. The evidence of your history real and not your future. The evidence of what other people see real and not your chart activation. The evidence of the timing real and not the eclipse corridor's timeline. All 4 are using real evidence. All 4 are describing where you were. None of them have access to where the eclipse has already pointed you. The lunar eclipse on August 28th is going to deliver the first undeniable external evidence that the direction has changed. Not the full destination. The first visible confirmation that the ship is no longer heading where it was heading before August 12th. But between now and then 4 days, you have the opportunity to participate consciously in the direction change rather than being convinced by your current position that it has not happened. Stop collecting evidence from your current reality about what is possible. Start asking what your eclipse chart is describing about where you are going. Those are 2 entirely different questions. And only one of them is aligned with what the corridor is actually doing. Drop in the comments which of the 4 blocks has been most active for you in the last few days. The circumstance evidence, the history evidence, the collective perception, or the timing. Tell me which one your mind has been using most convincingly, because naming it is the beginning of stopping it. Share this video with someone in your life who felt the eclipse shift on August 12th and has spent the last 12 days letting their current reality talk them out of it. This video may be exactly what they need 4 days before the eclipse closes. Until then, the evidence is not the destination. The eclipse already changed the direction. Trust what was shown.